This is NDTV. And you're watching Ndtv-Hindu.
Tries playing it safe. Dr. Ayya says a separate alliance was a wish of the state Congress leaders and not just his. Meanwhile, Ramadas hits out at the DMK for targeting his party workers, says if anything happens to him, the state police will be responsible. In a big relief to parents and students, Justice Govind Rajan says that the revised fee structure will stay this year. Be ready to be gunned down by the traffic police if you speed beyond 40 kilometers per hour on the roads of Chennai. Policemen injured during a raid at an illegal cracker unit in Virudhunagar. And the men in blue need to knock down the depleted Kiwi boys as India's battle to retain number 2 spot hangs in the balance. Good evening everyone, I'm Radhika Iyer. What a Tuesday it's been. The Chennai Traffic Police has put a brand new speed breaker on Chennai's roads. You cannot speed beyond 40 kilometers per hour if you are on a two-wheeler or a light motor vehicle, maybe a car that you may drive to office. If you do, then what happens? We have the top cop who's given this diktat live in our studios. But before we clarify and perhaps ask him whether that's practical at all, we'll take a look at the national news. An emotional Prime Minister appeals to all parties to join in dialogue for a peaceful Jammu and Kashmir. The Sports Minister says he will answer specifically only to an RTI. The opposition also attacks the centre over Mamata Banerjee's rally in the Maoist-infested Lalgarh. Maharashtra strives to clean up the mess from the oil spill while the government sets a deadline for about 10 days. The Infosys chief says he has no problem if his successor is not from the company and that it's unlikely that his kids will take over.
It will be easy for an outside person to become the chairman of the company.
Okay, no more racing on the streets of Chennai. No, not even allowed to exceed the speed limit of 40 kilometers per hour. That's the traffic police's new diktat to the motorists in Chennai. And if you defy that law, you're going to be let off with a fine. You're not going to be let off with a fine or a warning, because the Chennai police has now decided that anyone who violates this more than once will have their license stripped off. Salim has this report.
In Chennai city, we have prescribed the speed limit of 40 kilometers per hour for two-wheelers. If they go beyond that, we will take action against them.
This warning from the city police comes after the arrest of 18 youngsters who indulged in drag racing along the Marina Elliott stretch. 18 vehicles were confiscated and the men who possessed these mean machines lodged in Puril prison. With immediate effect, the traffic cops say they will cancel the license of motorists who exceed the speed limit of 40 kilometers per hour during day and 50 kilometers per hour during night.
This is a big offence. They create not only chaos on the road, they cause accident, and the public is quite disturbed. So we are going to be very ruthless with them.
For this purpose, the city traffic police have placed an order for radar guns, which will detect the speed of vehicles. These radar guns can be handheld, vehicle mounted or static. The present speed limit for different vehicles within the city limits are as follows. During day, two-wheelers and cars cannot speed over 40 kilometers per hour, and autos are restricted to 25 kilometers per hour. During night, autos can ply up to 30 kilometers per hour, whereas two-wheelers and cars are restricted to a speed of 50 kilometers per hour. At present, the power to terminate licenses lies with the RDOs. However, the city traffic police have written to the state government seeking powers to cancel licenses on their own. In Chennai with Salim, Evelyn Matthew for NDTV Hindu.
All right, too much excitement there will cost you your license. That seems to be the new diktat. Joining us live, Mr. M. Ravi, the Assistant Commissioner of Police Traffic. Sir, thanks very much. Appreciate you joining us on this show on Headlines Now. But first, clarify for us a couple of doubts that we have. This obviously will prevail for every location in Chennai?
You're asking about speed breakers?
Yes. Not about speed breakers. Well, this of course is a kind of a speed breaker, but this rule applies to every street, every location in Chennai, not speeding beyond 40 kilometers?
Yeah, it is applicable to every part of Chennai, in every location.
It's effective from today, which means?
See, the speed limit is enforced because of, that already speed limit is enforced in Chennai, and we have prescribed speed limit for two-wheelers, four-wheelers and autos. 40 kilometers per hour only the motorist can go. The two-wheelers and four-wheelers 40 kilometers, autos 35 kilometers during daytime, and just they can increase the speed by 10 kilometers during night. And beyond which if they go, then they will be penalized, and we have high-tech equipments to detect the speed limit of various motor vehicles. Why all of a sudden this kind of sudden hype about the speed limit
exactly
is because
my next question. Why all of a sudden? Because it seems to be some sort of a knee-jerk reaction from you after particularly this incident where you've arrested 18 youths. So is this a knee-jerk reaction? Is it a sudden reaction?
No, actually in the recent past, we have come across cases of road racing by motorists, particularly two-wheelers in the beach road, starting from Besant Nahar to even up to Gindi. 2 days back we have seized about 10 motorcycles, and 2 months back also we have seized about 9 motorcycles. And even after that these people continue to do the road racing, resulting in a lot of fatalities. Last week one person died because of this road racing. So this is high time that we have to come up with iron hand to deal the motorists who are over speeding. We are warning, we are cautioning the motorists that they should not exceed the speed limit of 40 kilometers per hour. If they exceed the speed limit, and we will detect through speed radar guns we have, and then we will recommend for the suspension of licenses, and soon we are going to be empowered with the power of cancelling license, and we have written to the government. So I request the motorist first. Right. Then if the request is not heeded, then we will go with iron hand to deal the overspeeding motorists.
All right.
This is not only causing danger to the lives of the motorists, but also the danger to the road users, particularly pedestrians.
All right, that's of course your reasoning. Let's listen into a few reactions that we caught when we broke the news to commuters that this new rule will be in place. Let's listen into what the people in Chennai had to say.
My bike, if you take Shanna, it goes around 60 to 70 kilometers per hour. Then what is the reason to buy this kind of bike and to ride on 40 kilometers per hour? Moreover, if you ride in 40 kilometers per hour, the traffic, what will say, that accidents may get reduced. But when will reach my office and all? It depends, because if I ride in 40 kilometers per hour, I will be taking, now I am taking around half an hour. It takes around 1 hour to reach my office. So I think it won't be a good decision right now to implement.
Actually, I am unhappy with the decision they have made. Right now you can see that if they want to restrict us, they have to restrict the manufacturers of the bike. They have to just restrict the vehicle only with the 40 kilometers of speed. All the vehicles is having up to 120 or 120 kilometers per speed. So they can't restrict us by saying that if we are exceeding 40 kilometers, they can cancel our license.
Okay. Our OB van, Mr. Ravi, which was traveling now which enables the live telecast, which wanted to reach you where you are right now, Velachery, took a little less than an hour to reach you, just about 4 to 5 kilometers and drive. The driver, of course, called to say that if this 40 kilometers per hour rule comes in place, then it really is not practical. Must be the same feeling of the commuters. We just heard a couple of them. So do you think it is a practical solution at all?
Yes, certainly it is practical solution. In Chennai road, if you overspeed, there is an accident. I think the motorists, first of all, they should be aware of it. Anybody should get, before getting license, they are getting LLR. While getting LLR, they have to go through the rules of 15 or triple R. That is road rules for road regulation. If they go through, then they will be aware of it. I think in India,
Safety first, you're saying, Mr. Ravi.
there is an easy procedure to get license.
Yes. Right. Safety first, you're saying. Explain to us about this high-tech equipment that you're saying, speed guns that you're saying. How many do you have? Does your department have? How many do you plan to procure? And when will this be actually in place? How does it work really?
See, high-tech equipments we have right now, we have speed radar guns about 24. We have already placed order for another 12. You know, each speed radar guns actually cost 12.5 lakhs. That actually laser guided speed radar gun that will give the exact speed of the vehicle as well as the number of the vehicle. Apart from this, we are now using ordinary speed radar guns. Certainly this will act as a deterrence. I request the motorists not to overspeed. In India also, nowhere in India the motorists can go beyond 50 kilometers per hour. This is the government of India has prescribed the rule. Even in highways, national highways where the roads are free, they are not supposed to go beyond 50 kilometers per hour.
Right, that's exactly my next question to you, Mr. Ravi. Let's compare it to other metros perhaps, this new rule. In Mumbai, for instance, a speed limit of up to 80 kilometers per hour is allowed, particularly when it is beyond 10 p.m. So, how really will you sort of justify this? Of course, you're saying safety needs to come first, but how will you ensure that people will actually take this seriously? Because will this again become, will it again run down like the helmet rule? Because we reported that just 3 out of 10 two-wheeler riders actually wear helmets today.
Yeah, just I want to, correct actually one thing. Even in Mumbai and Delhi, the motorists cannot go beyond 50 kilometers. No, 80 kilometer speed limit is nowhere in India. Only in highways in Hyderabad and Mumbai, the light motor vehicles can go at 80 kilometer speed in highways, not in city. City, no vehicles can go beyond 50 kilometer speed, including Mumbai and Hyderabad, even Delhi. Regarding the helmet rule, first, we want to educate the public about the wearing of helmets. See, enforcing them, it is kind of, punitive measure. We don't want to go for punishing the motorist. We want to educate them. See, wearing helmet is only to ensure the safety of the motorist. They are not wearing helmet for the sake of traffic police or the government or somebody. It is only for their safety. They have to understand that wearing helmet or going in normal speed is only for the safety and security of the motorist. If one person is lost, the one family is at suffering.
Yes,
they have to understand
right,
this.
When you say that safety comes first, you're absolutely right. Safety comes first, and which is why the helmet rule has to be placed. Something like this will ensure that people don't speed away, particularly bikers, the younger lot. But of course, the big worry is whether this will take shape like the way you want it to, because it seems that twice you're caught speeding away, then you will have to let go of your license, and that seems to be quite a strong statement from you, a strong penalty which you'll have to pay for. But you yourself seem to be fighting first for rights to cancel the license, because right now the power seems to be with the Revenue Divisional Office.
Yeah, right now the power of cancellation of license is the RTOs. And we have already requested in the meeting that police should be empowered with the power of cancelling license, and the government have agreed to give the power. I think soon we are going to get the power, and the licenses will be cancelled, and we are going to create database about the offences committed by the various motorists, and if they continue to commit offences, then they will be ineligible to get any kind of license.
There you have it, the ACP of traffic saying that within a few days they will actually have the right to cancel the license, and that legal procedure is underway. But if you go beyond 40 kilometers per hour, if you are on a light motor vehicle, which is a car or a two-wheeler, then be ready to let go of your license. Thanks very much, Mr. Ravi, for joining us live on this show. Appreciate very much that you came to join us and clarify those doubts. Thank you, Mr. Ravi. Moving on, in a big respite for students and parents of private schools, Justice Govindarajan has said that the proposed fee structure will stay for this academic year. Justice Govindarajan was appointed by the government to look into exorbitant amount charged by the private schools in the state. Around 6,000 private schools had petitioned against the fee structure recommended by the committee. Govindarajan said that their recommendation will be considered for the academic year 2011 and 12. Okay, Minal Shah now joins us live from the newsroom. Minal, you've been on top of the story. Tell us, have you been able to talk to parents and educationalists, particularly the private school owners? What's their reaction? Are they crying foul?
They are quite unhappy and extremely dissatisfied with the decision that has been made today. They say that it's going to affect the students directly. They say that the first things that they are going to cut down on, they feel that the school revised fee structure decided by the Govindarajan committee is way below their standards, because they provide high quality education, and for that they need to charge that kind of fees. And they say that students are going to be affected by this. Firstly, they are going to cut down on the staff, that is teachers will not be given increments. They will cut down on teachers, the staff. And the second thing is that students ratio, that is at the moment from by 1:60, 1:40, it will now be increased to 1:60, which means they will not be able to give personal attention to students in the class. So these are the two effects. Another thing that he also mentioned is that no extracurricular activity or anything that is related, anything like NCC or those kind of extracurricular activities that are provided by these schools will come down, and they will not, because they don't have the funds for it. And invariably the quality of education will be affected, because if lack of teachers, most students directly means that students don't get what they need, and that is proper attention while they are studying.
Absolutely, Minal. That in fact was my next question to you. Does this mean that there will be a compromise on the quality of education, considering the student to teacher ratio, like you mentioned, from 1:40 in private schools will now move to 1:60, which means we will see some pink slips being given away to teachers in private education. About NSS, that you said that anyway doesn't need too much of money, but in terms of trying to make a compromise, is the private school management and the fraternity by and large trying to make sure that the compromise is made on the infrastructure and perhaps the extracurricular activities, rather than something that affects the education per se?
Radhika, what the private school association people have been telling us is that when you ask for quality education, when you ask for high class education, it comes with everything. It comes with good teachers who need a great pay. It comes with students who need to be given extra classes and extracurricular activities like swimming and horse riding and NCC, as well as personal attention in class. So they are saying to give all this package that they want students to have, they need to have that kind of a development in their infrastructure that should grow every year. Right. So if they do this, if they have to follow the revised fee structure, it is going to affect directly to the students, affect their the development of the schools. So it's going to move backward instead of forward, is what they are saying.
Right, Minal. Very ironic there indeed, considering parents actually prefer sending their children to private schools, paying that extra bit only because of the image that private schools actually give that much more quality education. Thanks very much, Minal. We'll continue to track this news with you, but we leave you for now. But we'll take about 20 seconds more to give you some news staying related to the student community. Some respite, it seems, because in 3 months' time, the students of Chennai schools will be able to access a world-class math and science resource center, similar to that at the Birla Planetarium. The resource center will give students the opportunity to get hands-on training, make observations and understand concepts at a much deeper level. There will also be an activity room where students can engage in computer models and games on math and science concepts. An MOU to this effect was signed by the Chennai Corporation with AID India, a non-profit organization working in the education field, and Cognizant Foundation that will provide funds for settling up this facility. Some quality education even in government schools there, so quite a choice making indeed for parents. Moving on, in the top political story of the day, PMK's chief, Dr. Ramadas, has now said he was only reiterating what some senior Congress leaders have been wishing for when he said that he wanted a separate alliance. This is after hinting at floating a new alliance just 3 days ago. PMK held a governing council meet this morning, and the council gave Ramadas all the powers to decide on the alliance for the forthcoming assembly elections. Dr. Raya said that he only sounded out the opinion of some other senior Congress leaders when he spoke of a Congress-led alliance in the state for the next assembly polls.
காங்கிரஸ் சீனியர் லீடர்ஸ் வயசானவங்கலாம் சொன்ன கருத்துக்களை நான் அங்கே சொன்னேன், அவ்வளோதான். இது என்னுடைய கருத்து இல்லை, அது என்னுடைய கருத்து இல்லை. அந்த மாதிரி சீனியர் லீடர்ஸ் காங்கிரஸில் சில பேர் பேசிக்கிறாங்க அப்படின்ற மாதிரி அந்த கருத்தை நான் அங்கே சொன்னேன், நான் அவ்வளோதான், வேற ஒன்று. அரசியலில் எது வேணாலும் நடக்கலாம், நிரந்தர எதிரிகளும் கிடையாது, நிரந்தர நண்பர்களும் கிடையாதுன்னு ஒரு வசனம் தமிழ்நாட்டுக்கு இருக்குது, இந்தியாவுக்கும் அது பொருந்தும், அந்த வசனம் இருக்குது, அவ்வளோதான்.
It was a big catch today by the Directorate of Revenue Intelligence. The party drug, as it's called, was recovered. 600 kgs of ketamine valued at rupees 60 crores in the international market from Chennai and Mumbai before they were being smuggled out to Malaysia and Indonesia was caught. The Additional Director General of the DRI said that this was in fact the biggest seizure made in the recent times by the agency, which was keeping a close watch at the Mumbai and Chennai airports following information that the drug, normally called as the party drug, could be smuggled through these specific airports after a tip-off that a key person belonging to the gang allegedly involved in the smuggling of ketamine was coming to Chennai. Officials nabbed him at the airport in Chennai last week. The arrested person was identified as Raja Pandian, 33 years old, and investigation is on to nab all his partners. A raid at an illegal cracker go-down in Virudhunagar proved to be an example for what exactly we say why such raids are necessary first of all in the first place. It seems that Diwali is just a couple of months away, but this is an indication of what's in store. A fire broke out in the go-down during the raid and 8 people, including a police inspector and 3 revenue officials, suffered serious burn injuries. The fire broke out at a storeroom while the officials were inspecting it. The injured have been admitted to a private hospital. A break up next, but don't go away because a weak defense and the main opposition is at it again because they're not happy with the sports minister saying he will answer only to the RTI. And Narayan Murthy hints on who will be the successor in his software kingdom.